trick so that you could quickly identify your hottest prospects that are most interested in your product? Let me show you in this video. Hey everybody, Steve Rosenbaum with Flawless Follow-Up. I want to take you behind the scenes. I want to show you some of the things that I do to track interest and find the hottest prospects that want to hear from me about my product or maybe an affiliate product that I'm promoting. So let me show you an event that I promoted for my buddies over at White Label Suite. Now on the screen here, you're going to see that we have a couple workflows that I created for what they called the Freedom event. Now the first workflow was for sending out the emails to about 2,200 people that I segmented that I knew would be interested in this webinar, in this event. And so this had a series of emails over a few days getting them to register for the webinar. Now inside the emails, inside the workflow, I used a trigger link. And that trigger link I used so that I could track the people that were most interested, the ones that wanted to go register. So the second workflow here is triggered by that link. Here you'll see it right here. As I open it up, you'll see, hey, it's triggered by the trigger link called the WLS Freedom Event Registration. So all the emails that went out before the webinar, the trigger link pointed to the registration page. All right. And when somebody clicked on that link, it triggered this workflow. Now this workflow has some pretty simple steps. We added a note to their history. Always a good idea, by the way, that I always add this note so I know what did they click on. And I always put this in my note history, contact name, email, and phone number. The reason I do that is if somebody updates that information, or sometimes if they delete it, or just put an initial later on, if it gets overwritten in that history, I'm going to have a history of that contact information. I'll be able to tell if it changed. I'll be able to revert back to something that I knew was good if that ever happens. So again, that's one habit that I always do. Then I add tags. Now I want you to notice something about my tags. I don't add just one tag. I'm adding 4 tags in this case. All right. First, I always add this clicked link. You'll see here, I've got a ton of these. If I want to add, look at this. This is how I always start all my trigger links. Clicked links. Let's, hang on. Why isn't that? Let's say I want to add a new tag here. All I want to show you here is that if I select the tag clicked link, you'll see that I have a bunch of these, right? So this is, I use naming conventions all the time. Do that. It's always so helpful. That way you can find things. But this way you can see the trigger links that I create, and I'm always using clicked link : all right? That's my naming convention for all my trigger links. All right, then we add this tag, and I want to point out a couple of these tags that I added here. Always click link, what are they clicking on? But besides the fact that they clicked on the link of the Freedom Event Registration, I also use interest tags, interest : White Label Suite. Now, I might send out a lot of different things about White Label Suite, and I'll always use that tag because, obviously now, anytime somebody clicks on anything related to White Label Suite, they're now tagged. I could now isolate them like I did when I started promoting this event, right? I only used segments of my list that I knew would be interested in this, and then other segments of my list that I knew would not be interested in this, might be, that don't like marketing emails in general. I could keep them off. Always tag and segment before you send out promotions like this. Then the interest was the Freedom event, and then look at this, motivator : agency solution. What are these people looking for? The overall theme of the event is, if you're an agency and you're looking for a solution, that is the motivator. Get in the habit of, as you're promoting different things, what's the motivation behind them wanting to go? And you'll be able to create these segments. So notice, not just one tag. Most people put very general tags. They might say WLS for White Label Suite, or they might just say webinar in general. Very general, but that doesn't help you really segment. This is your opportunity to set these tags is right now. So always add multiple tags. You can never have too many tags. They're absolutely free. All right. So remember, this is before the event. Now that's important because I'm going to show you something just a few seconds from now that's really, really cool. My really cool trick. All right. And let's cancel out of that. Look what I do here. I modify their contact engagement score. I add 50 points to their engagement score for clicking on that link. If they're interested in a webinar, I'm going to give them 50 points. Now notice, I don't give them 1 point or 2 points. I have a matrix, okay? A matrix for the way that I create my points. And 50 is a decent size. You could also have 100. You could also have 250 or even 500, depending on what you're clicking on and how hot a prospect that makes you. But 50 is a pretty good one, right? But so you want to do that. And then the other thing you'll see that I do here is that I create a 10-day wait here. So you see 90 people have come through that. What does that tell me? That tells me these 90 people have clicked on the link that they were interested in the webinar. So if you were to go to these 90 people, you'd see that they have all 4 of those tags. You'd see they'd have the system note, and you'd see that they have 50 points added to their score. If I ever want to sort on contact score, those people are going to come to the top because they recently clicked on that engagement score. So just if you did these things right here, you'd be doing a great job of segmenting your hottest prospects. You'd be able to isolate those hottest prospects. Look, 90 people out of 2,200. Now I know who are the hottest 90 people out of the 2,200. But you want to take it to the next level? You want to see how it gets even better? Here's what I'm going to do. The webinar was last night. That means now I'm going to start mailing out on the replay. Okay, I'm mailing on the replay. So I'm going to make a couple changes to this right here. Let me refresh the screen here without saving. And I'm going to make one change here. Well, at least one. We'll see. It might be a couple more. Hang on. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Here we go. All right, now it's no longer the event registration. It's now the event replay. All right, so I'm going to change this. All right, and I'm going to change the name. And in the system note, I'm also going to change this. Okay, whoops, I misspelled that. All right, so we have the name of it changed, and we have that changed. Now, we have the system added note. Now let's go look at the tags. What do I want to do? I no longer want to tag them as registration. I want to tag that they are a replay, okay? So I created a link that looks exactly like this, but it has the word replay instead of registration. So I could add this. Just type, I already created this tag. Let's just type the word freedom, and there it is right there, okay? So I'm adding the replay link. I want to take out the registration link. Let's save the action, and let's save this. All right, and again, we're going to modify the contact score. Now, one very important note here, if you're following along, if you're a step ahead of me, you realize that the trigger link also needs to be pointing to the replay page. We have to make sure that this link does not go to the registration page because this is in the past. We want to make sure that the trigger link now points to the replay page. In this case, White Label Suites, they're professional marketers. They've already forwarded that link to the replay page. So I don't have to do anything. All right. But do make sure that you check that out. You make sure that you change this. All right. And this trigger link now points to a page that contains the replay and not the registration. So if you're thinking that, good for you, good for thinking ahead, but that's already taken care of in our case. Now there's one more thing we have to do. Can you think of what that is? Because what I want to do now is I want to mail to my most interested people that are showing interest in this product. And I want to say, hey, if you missed the event, the replay is now up. All right. And I want to be able to track the hottest prospects. So look with me into the future till tomorrow morning. And I wake up and I want to track my hottest prospects. Who are they going to be? They're going to be the people that clicked on both the registration and the replay, aren't they? All right. And by the way, one thing I've also already done here is I've already gotten a list of the people that attended the webinar and already imported and tagged them as well. All right. So now I can track my hottest, most interested people. They're the people that are watching the replay, showing up for the event, and showing interest by clicking on the link multiple times in multiple cases. But there's one thing that's a problem here. Now, these 90 people, I wanted them to stay here for this reason. Number one, I could quickly see who they are. I could quickly add another email if I wanted to. All right. And also, this would prevent them from going through here multiple times and getting their score added multiple times. All right. Because they're already in here. So if they click on it again, they won't get in here a second time because they're already in this workflow. So let's take them out of the workflow. Okay, let's take them out of the workflow. All I have to do, let's make sure this is saved, and it is. All I have to do is push this so that it comes up, and then take all these people and move them to the next step. When that happens, these 90 people will be out of the workflow, okay? You'll be able to see in the execution log and the history, they're no longer there. In fact, let's just refresh the screen. And it's doing its magic. We got rid of 23 of those people, right? And if we refresh the screen, we'll see that the more of them are gone. So if we wait a minute or 2 minutes, all 90 people will be gone. One last thing you want to check, go to your settings. Make sure that allow re-entry is on. All right, when we're all ready to go, nobody will be in there. Now we can mail out again with that link, and we'll know that when people track on the replay, they'll now get tagged and have the replay tag. And then if we filter on people that have both the registration and the replay, we can see that those people are clicking on things and they are the most interested. You could also track a hot button link if you've got that. You could track visits to a web page if it's a page that you own. Think of all the things that you could track that show interest, because the people that take the most actions, and they're the ones showing the most interest, and those are your hottest prospects. And again, there's 2,200 people that went through the original workflow. I don't need to worry about all 2,200 of those. I'm going to focus on people that have these tags. I'll focus on anybody. When I go to mail out the replay now, I'm only going to take it and show it to people that showed an interest on White Label Suite, an interest in the Freedom event. It's going to be several hundred people. It's not going to be 2,200 people. This way, I'm not sending out emails to people that have already seen multiple emails and not shown an interest. That's it. I don't need to show them anymore. What's going to happen is I'm going to be focused on the hottest prospects that are showing the most interest in here. I'm going to tell them there's a replay. You're going to see I'm going to have very high open rates on these emails. I'm going to have very high click-throughs because they're going to be so targeted. Well, there you go. Whether you're mailing on affiliate products or you're an agency trying to get cold leads, the process is the same. Monitor those activities. Give scores. Add tags. That way you could segment and find your hottest prospects and focus on them. That's how you drive up your closing rate. Well, there you go. What did you learn? Most importantly, how are you going to apply it to your business? All right, if you have any questions, look me up. I'm Steve Rosenbaum at flawlessfollowup.com. And if you have any questions, always reach out and let me know. Happy to help. Have a great day.